So this student who was acquitted of assault charges against the female student is now allowed to sue both Yale University and his accuser for defamation. Let's talk about it. So this is Mr. Khan. He's 30 years old, and he had a $110 million defamation lawsuit pending against Yale University, the Ivy League institution, since 2019. Now, Khan has been fighting to bring his accuser, a fellow student, into the lawsuit over a 2018 university hearing that eventually resulted in his expulsion from Yale University. Now, Connecticut's High Court granted Khan's request in June. The court ruled that his accuser didn't receive qualified immunity from her school testimony that Khan her following a Halloween party in 2015. Now, it's important to note, Khan was tried for those allegations, and he was found not guilty by a jury of his peers. So in 2015, a female student accused Khan of assaulting her in a dormitory at Yale College, and as a result, Yale University suspended Khan. The University Committee on Sexual Misconduct stayed their disciplinary proceedings against Khan, pending the outcome of his criminal case that the state had filed against him. Khan was actually acquitted on multiple accounts of the sexual assault, so he was found not guilty on all counts. Then Khan resumed as a full-time student at Yale. However, the student newspaper reported some additional allegations of assault involving Khan, and Khan underwent mental and health counseling, but he refused to meet with university administrators. Subsequently, Yale suspended Khan again, citing safety concerns for both Khan and the university community. So Khan was acquitted of the assault allegations against the woman in 2015, but the university said, well, hey, we want to look at this again, and then convened a hearing about those same 2015 allegations that Khan was found not guilty on. Now, here's what Khan said the university told him when he made the point that, hey, I was found not guilty on all of these charges. Why are you bringing this up again?
I mean, people watching across the country hear that you were accused of something. You said it was consensual. You were eventually acquitted of this. Why did the university decide to kick you out anyway?
They are a corporation. They are not the government. They are not beholden to due process. They don't have to care. They have to simply see what is their bottom line. And so there was a ton of campus pressure from girls feeling uncomfortably being in class with me or in the dining hall. And so they just expelled me anyway. One of the craziest arguments that Yale had said was that just because a court of law says that you're not guilty doesn't mean we think you're not guilty.
So Yale University said, we're going to have our hearing to see if you're guilty of these charges or not. So Yale put on what could only be described as a kangaroo court. They allowed the victim to give testimony over teleconference. They did not allow Khan and his attorneys to cross-examine the witness. They didn't put anybody under oath, and they accepted her allegations as true. And eventually they expelled Khan. But Khan and his lawyers were like, hold on, this hearing wasn't at all fair. This was BS. This was essentially whatever she says goes, and he's guilty by fiat. Remember, he was acquitted at a criminal trial. So Khan and his attorneys sued the university and tried to sue the accuser for defamation. Now, in an interesting twist, Yale pulled the qualified immunity card. Now, you may recognize qualified immunity in police cases, but it's also applicable in cases like this. See, Yale's argument was that, hey, this student can't sue us, nor can he sue his accuser because our process is quasi-judicial. And anyone giving statements or testimony in a quasi-judicial or judicial proceeding are immune from things like defamation lawsuits. It's black letter law. Now, Khan's case was dismissed at the lower court level, and then it went up on appeal. So then the Connecticut Supreme Court weighed in. Was Yale's essentially kangaroo court a quasi-judicial proceeding?
But now the Connecticut Supreme Court has found that Yale's kangaroo court was so unfair, they issued a ruling in Khan's favor, in the accused favor. They wrote that Khan's lawyer's inability to cross-examine the accused reduced them, and we're quoting now, to the role of a potted plant, saying fundamental fairness requires meaningful cross-examination in proceedings like the one at issue. they found Khan could actually sue his accuser for defamation, something he is doing now.
Now, that hearing was so unfair. The witnesses were not under oath. He did not have an opportunity to cross-examine the witnesses. The Supreme Court of Connecticut said it was so unfair that not only should he be able to sue the school for it, he should be able to sue the accuser who made defamatory statements in the hearing, which he's suing, and so he's now suing them all. The court also said that Yale's hearing couldn't be considered quasi-judicial because it didn't make the woman testify under oath and did not provide Khan's side a transcript of her testimony. So they're saying that this was not only unfair, but it was so unfair that she could be held liable for the testimony she gave, and they could be held liable for the things that they said during this hearing. This was a total win for Khan.
$110 million is an awful lot of money. You were acquitted, found not guilty by a jury of your peers. Now you want $110 million. How do you get, and I say this respectfully, though, I get that your reputation was ruined. I get that your 20s were taken from you, and it's why we're having you on, because it seems profoundly wrong. But how do you justify $110 million?
So that's largely a question for the jury to determine, in the sense that what should we do when Yale is not merely adjudicating the process, but they're putting their grubby fingers on the scale? They had destroyed exculpatory evidence, and they were trying to mess with the prosecutor, and they had notes passed around that said, he's from Afghanistan, he must have done it because violence is accepted there.
So what do you guys think about this case? I personally hope Khan wins all $110 million. Why? Because I think Khan was fundamentally wronged here by the university. Now, I don't know if he did this or not. The only thing I know is that he was acquitted of the allegations. And from what it seems like, the university went out of its way to screw this kid. I think what they believed is that he really did do it, and maybe the court got it wrong. And instead of putting a fair process, because that's all they had to do, right? They didn't have to put a process in place as robust as a criminal trial, right? With evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. They could have put on a trial with a lower standard, right? What's more likely than not? And then had him cross-examine witnesses and just going through the process, and they would be fine. But as Khan said, they wanted to put their finger on the scale and make sure he was kicked out of the school. They wanted to take no chances. But by doing that and making the process so unfair, so clearly unfair, where the court, in a unanimous decision, make sure you guys understand this, the court was unanimous that this was fundamentally unfair to Khan. They now have given him a way to not only sue the accuser, because he couldn't sue her before, but now he can sue the accuser, he can sue the school, and I think rightfully so. Let me know how you feel about this situation. Let me know if you believe that this may be going too far, because there are some of you who are going to believe he shouldn't be allowed to sue the accuser. An accuser, unfortunately, who was not believed by a jury of her peers. Remember, Khan was acquitted of all the charges. So, it's at this point in time, if there was enough evidence to say that Khan did this, he would be in jail, but he's not. He's innocent until proven guilty, and right now, he is innocent at this time. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. My name is Nathan Lloyd, and I'll see you next time. Peace.